very warm welcome to Vivienne Westwood and Deborah Orr.
The establishment has always had to come to you and has always had to ask for your help. So it's actually given you more power in the end, because now, you have been uber embraced by the establishment.
Oh,
now
absolutely.
You're a dame.
Yeah, all this business of not having knickers and things like that. I'm so glad the press were kind to me. They could have really rubbished me. It was really good, all that.
Vivienne is wearing knickers tonight. I've seen them.
Yeah, they're my yoga knickers. I've still got them on. For some reason, suddenly, I realised only this year that people are using the word capitalism all the time. I never thought of using the word capitalism because we were so frightened of mentioning capitalism 10 years ago. People would just see you as an extremist or a Marxist, and I'm not. Russell Brand said the other day that we can only solve the problem of the environment when we dismantle capitalism. And so this is the enemy. And the point is that it's the end of capitalism because the fossil fuel is running out. And because we're at the end, our leaders are so extreme. They've gone to extremes. This is why we've got this terrible austerity. If you read in here, you'll realise how austerity is just part of the covering up of the Ponzi scheme, and it doesn't really do anything. They might as well print more money because that's what these central banks are allowed to do. They're private banks, they print money. Clothes should cost an awful lot more than they do because, in fact, they're really subsidised. And one of the ways in which my clothes are subsidised, my core collection, is that we have to do all this periphery stuff to support it. Small leather goods, sunglasses. Unfortunately, I never had a success with my perfume. I hope one day to be able to do perfumes I like, except the first one, which was really good, and the rest was terrible. Don't buy it. Food should be dearer. A chicken, I think you can still buy a cooked chicken for £2. It's dreadful because the world is run on debt, and that's why everything costs less than it should. Anyway, but you do need clothes, and so they're expensive clothes. We try to make sure that they're value for money. I've got something, we're opening a shop in Paris. I haven't written this in England yet, but I've certainly put it on invitations and T-shirts and things. And on the door of that shop in Paris, because we're doing the decoration new, it will definitely have buy less, choose well, make it last. Because we don't need so much. This map here, this is a true map. Everything underneath this line is uninhabitable. Once we go beyond 2 degrees, you can't stop it going to 4 or 5. The first thing we have to do is stop fracking. We don't allow fracking in this country for 2 reasons. One, it's bad for the environment, but also it's to show the governments that they have to listen to people because they just do what they want, and that's why we've got no democracy here.
Maybe a bit of a controversial question, going back to fashion, but do you think you have to study fashion to be a fashion designer?
What did he say?
He asks if you...
I'm going deaf, I have to ask her. Yeah, sorry.
Do you have to study fashion to be a fashion designer?
The trouble is I don't know what else you do to study fashion. The system of apprenticeship would have been very good, but it doesn't exist anymore. I'm not even sure that we're allowed to have interns who aren't belonging to an art school. I think they have to be somehow. What's wrong with art schools? Well, there's a lot wrong, but fashion schools. Number one, they now have all these people coming from all over the world, these rich kids. The idea of paying from foreign people to go to schools, it seems to me they accept everybody. And I knew one girl and she had not got one iota of talent at all. And so there are a lot of people who shouldn't be there just because that's what they want to be. And I'm afraid you have to have a hand, you have to have talent. I believe that, yes, if somebody's talented and can do something, 20-something years old, that's the sum total of their experience, and they can put that into what they do. But where do they get that experience from to continue? You get it from culture. You put yourself in the shoes of people who lived before you. You get all the ideas come from the past. And we're not taught that. In fact, the 20th century, that's a heretical point of view still, what I've just said. Because the 20th century taught, forget the past, everything's in you. You can do anything, you can be anything, you can do what you want. That's what the art schools teach you, and that's wrong. You have to get ideas from somewhere. They don't just come from you. And so whatever you fall in love with, you know, that's how you'll do something, you know.
There you are, everybody. Good advice. Fall in love. Thanks very much, Vivienne.